Hello, hi, it's me, toxiclowfive, and this is how I beat the Halloween 2025 event. Now, I jumped in not thinking about anything, but when I noticed that every single class you could pick from had AA turret, I left, went and picked it up because ain't no way I was going through that without AA turret, and went back in. Now, I started off with Goon Gunner because Goon Gunner is really good as a starter. Well, not really, only if you can get it like to level 3, because level 3 is where it becomes really good, especially for group defense. But it wasn't enough to keep us going, so we leaked a lot, but we had a lot of life, so I wasn't too worried about it. I set the Goon Gunner to strongest since I knew we wouldn't be able to handle the leaks, so that we could not waste the damage on 25 health enemies, because you know that would be good. I then took the golden jug just to see if we had the blocking mechanic for range in this game, and for the most part a lot of the parts wasn't blocking, so I had an idea of what I would do later on. I then got her to level 3 because I know level 3 would be able to handle that, and it was right, but I put something at the back to handle stragglers, not knowing that there was flying enemies, so I ended up having to put some flying detection back there. Finally, the enemies were finally making it to the end, but I wasn't too worried about it. Again, we had like almost 3,000 health, so it was fine. I upgraded the AA turret to 2-2 and got a few more because I didn't know how much flying detection we would need. I slowly worked on maxing out Goon Gunner because Goon Gunner is really good. Again, I don't know why they made it so good. I know they're gonna nerf it soon. I love this class. Please don't get rid of it. I put a commander right next to it to give it a little bit more range so that it would be able to reach the whole bend, and I utilized the Goon Gunner ability so that we could get some extra DPS as things still leaked, but I still wasn't worried about it. Now, first we had this cursed vine guy. He kind of just like did a little move that would entangle our towers and stop them from being able to attack for a brief period of time. He wasn't that much of an issue. He was actually really easily dealt with, and there was also a clutch Goo right there. Next, we have big air enemies, but because me over preparing for that, it was a pretty easy win. The thing that was really difficult was these tormented souls. These tormented souls are annoying, mostly because the goos just went right through them. All of the abilities just went right through them. It kind of works like the ghosts from the Halloween event in TDX. I was kind of cooked, and we took a little damage here, and unfortunately, that led to our death. This time, I decided to get a gold jug earlier before that wave came, just so we can deal with that, and that ended up making it easy. And I also put down a Goo Gunner there that I would think would also help with slowing it down, so the gold jug would have more time to kill them. So on wave 12, they brought out these big guys, Divine Golem Spotted. Now these weren't really, they were just really tanky enemies. They never really were an issue at all for me, and we ended up beating them really easily because we had a whole bunch of jugs and we had a whole bunch of buffing going, and we just ended up beating it. On the next wave, we had this thing called Tormentor. Now Tormentor levitates a little bit and then spawns the souls all over again. So if you don't have high DPS to deal with him and also some group DPS to deal with his souls, he can be a problem. Next up, we had more skeleton barrels. They weren't basically much of an issue. They just dropped something when they died. They weren't an issue at all. We had a whole bunch of flying detection and ground detection, so it was fine. We were good. These flying pumpkins they had were a big annoying because every time you killed them, they would go for the nearest tower or a random tower and just like destroy it. So I decided to just set up a whole bunch of AA turrets as bait so that we wouldn't lose out on our flying detection, and it ended up being easy. Next up, we had apostles. They kind of reminded me of the soul sand from Minecraft. Every time they died, they had a mechanic where they would just drop more of those annoying soul things, but again, we had those defended for a long time, so they weren't much of an issue. On wave 18, you had these really fast guys, but because of Goon Gunner and how overpowered she is, we just easily beat that because, you know, they didn't stand a chance at all. It was unfair. Wave 19 was just a flying detection check, and because of the pure amount of flying detection we had, we were good. I ended up rating a few of them to 2-2 and a few of them to the machine gun, and we ended up beating it pretty easily. Confed was the next guy up. He would slam the ground, stunning enemies and hurting them a little bit, but he wasn't that much of an issue because I overbought on shield thinking that this was going to be really difficult, and yeah, shield was not, don't use shield, it's not needed. On wave 21, we had a rush of apostles. Now they actually were a little bit of a problem, mostly because they would like push back, so I decided to have some Goo Gunners in the back because that would help with stunning if they get too far, and the gold jugs would be able to clean them up. So they pushed a little bit far, but for the most part, because of me doing that and having a whole bunch of goos going, we were easily able to beat that. Next up, we have Grove Guardians. Now Grove Guardians kind of just have this shield around them, and they just make a beeline until they finally get tired and stop. Their shield go down, and they weren't much of an issue. That were actually like really easy. I don't even know if anybody had any issues with those, but those were easy. Wave 23 was just another flying detection check, and probably a warning to me, but I didn't take the warning well, and you'll see that in a second. It even warned us even more on wave 24 when it did another rush of air enemies, and I still didn't take the hint from the game that the game was beating into me. Now on wave 25, the witch comes, and she essentially is like a commander and shield tower put together. Every time she does that little explosion, she would give them a speed boost and also give them some shield, but again, that wasn't much of a problem because the sheer amount of gold rangers we had, our gold jugs, sorry, yeah, we easily beat that. Now wave 25 they've spawned in the Forgotten Knight. The Forgotten Knight has 1,000,000 health and all he does is fly. So if you don't have any flying detection, you're cooked. And that's essentially exactly what happened to us. I don't even think we got 100,000 off of him, and that was just sad because I didn't notice that there was things at the back of the map, and they ended up just killing me, and that was just an unfortunate event right there. So I went back to the drawing board. I got EDJ, I picked up Bloxy, and we went for another round. Now I decided to put my jugs in the middle here because they would be able to see that entire bend there, and that ended up being a very good idea because nothing was leaking past that. To prepare for that round where they like got past me, I decided to put some jugs at the back of the map where they would actually be able to get all of the things that spawned, like FE's Calamity from freaking Endless. So when he came in again, Bloxy was mostly focusing on flying detection. For the most part, it was going good. The thing spawned in. My defense worked well. We were good. We had Goon Gutters at the back of the map. We were good. I was a little bit scared here. I thought he was going to fly directly to the base and we needed way more DPS than this. But no, he flies around the map. I don't know if he flies, how long he flies around for. I don't know if it works like the final boss for Nightmare mode. But yeah, he just kept flying around and we just slowly killed him over time. While I was focusing on ground shoot, Bloxy had the AA turret spam. And everything was going pretty well. We got it down to 60,000 health and 50,000 health. And I noticed he was slowly hurting our base after time. So I think there is a time limit similar to how it is in Nightmare mode. So you have to beat him at a certain time. But yeah, then he was down to 28,000 health, or 200,000, sorry. And then finally he was dead. And all we had to do was clean up the little bit of stragglers at the back of the map. And boom, you get 650 gold for that. You'll get more if you don't use your own loadout. But unfortunately, you can't use your own loadout anymore for some reason. I don't know why they changed it. You get 32 crystals, which I'm surprised about. A little bit of XP and a lot of the thingy. Now, that's the update. What I think about the update, I think it was pretty cool. It was a little buggy at first because apparently there's just like the stunning. I don't know what it is because I haven't seen it, but apparently you can like abuse the game right now with ice towers, and that's like really sad. I feel kind of bad for John. I assume that's going to be patched. Unfortunately, you can't use your own towers like I said because I'm guessing he didn't want people to just like grind the crap out of it and like beat the battle pass in like 2 days. So yeah, there's that. I'd give the update 8 out of 10, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what Nightmare mode is going to be like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.